good to be here and very, very honored to be moderating this session. Technology is something that is called a disruptor for many industries. Uh, some industries are at the more advanced part of the curve. Some are still learning. Retail, maybe somewhere in between. And especially India retail, again, somewhere in between that journey. Not a nascent player, but not, again, the most mature industry as well. So what we want to discuss today is how Indian retail and specifically Indian malls, how we are adopting the technology, what specific business problems it is helping to solve, and in that journey that has been traversed or is going to be traversed, what has been the challenges and what the future looks like. So with that, we begin the session. The first thing that we would like to understand from our esteemed panel is what are the kind of business problems that malls can solve using the technology? Mr. Mukesh, I'd like to start with you.
Business problems. Do we have any? I think there are two stakeholders for the mall business. One is the retailer, number two is the visitors. So if you're looking at from a technology point of view, you'll have to look at how to make it more convenient for the consumers and retailers both. Retailers, we don't really do too much except for getting people to the mall using a lot of technologies. We did try doing something with the retailers in terms of doing omni-channel a few years back. Somehow we thought we could not compete with it because there's a larger marketplace. Why would a customer come to your website to shop from there when he's got better options like Flipkart, Amazon? So I think that idea completely failed. Now looking at the second is the visitors. How do you, the consumers who comes to the mall, how do you make it more friendly to them in terms of digital experience? So you start with navigation within the mall. How do you reach the different store? How do you find wayfinding signage in terms of digital? You look at your parking facilities. How do you digitalize it? That's another experience when you come to the mall. Your entry and exit is very, very important. That's a basic hygiene factor. That's very, very critical for the success for any mall. Number three is getting people to the mall, the footfall itself. What are the things what you use to get people to the mall? That's the basic objective of any mall. How do you facilitate that? Getting the right target segment to your mall so they can do a shop in the mall. So it starts, of course, from your location, your category mix, what kind of brands you have, what kind of category you have, got the right kind of F&B or entertainment or your hypermarket. So that's one part of it. Number two is that how do you market, how to reach out to people? So earlier, you just build a mall and people come on their own, but things have changed completely. You got to make sure that people come to your place because there's not too much a difference between two malls. So here the things come about the marketing. So digital has become very, very strong today. Your social media marketing is extremely strong in terms of your Facebooks, your Instagrams, your Twitter. So you have to use all these kind of medium to reach out to people through different offers. Hey, what did you also collaborate with your retailers? So that in case they have any offer, how do you reach out to them? So still we try to get people through all those mediums. So here the technology is very, very important to use them to induce people to come to your mall.
Got it. And Mr. Mahesh, your thoughts on this?
Very good afternoon. So let me start off by probably saying what we do. So that will set the context. So we are a one city, one mall wonder, if I may put it that way, from Pune. And we have probably the first and arguably largest furniture and home interiors mall of the country. And we've been serving for the last 16 odd years and done part of more 200,000 homes. Our single biggest business problem, if I may put it that way, was it's a highly touch and feel category. Home and furniture, and all of us would relate to that when we want to buy something for home, we want to touch and feel and emotionally connect with it. At the same time, it's a fragmented market. There are too many sources out there. And here we are as a mall, we have close to about 100 odd brands of furniture and decor. How do we get customers to come to our place? And to that, one of the biggest things that the problem statement was, how do we share knowledge with them through the digital platforms and therefore make them come over in order to make a wise and informed choice, right? So very interestingly, we had done something where we said that help the customer to understand what he wants. So we created something called as a curated trail, where a customer could come into the mall and then using the touchscreen kiosks there, you could just scan, in case you're coming in for a sofa, scan the code and it gives you a sofa trail. And so the customer knows which are the stores in which sofas are there. And it's just not simple which are the stores, it also in terms of finishes, leather, so fabric, price points, budget, premium. So you actually get a guided tour. And then the moment the customer has that in his hands, or she has it in her hands, so her life becomes easier. And decision making is smarter, if I may put it that way. So we spent our time and effort in understanding this kind of nuanced challenge in terms of giving customers knowledge. We call it EduCity within Creaticity, and share that knowledge and make that customer and the family not only come into the mall, and that's what we were just talking in the pre-session. It's not about just crossing the gates of the mall, but also to help them go to the right store for their requirement, and therefore go back with a sale. And in a sense, for us, it's a conversion. For the retailer, it's a conversion, and for the customer, it's a home well made. I think that's what I would share.
Got it. So, in essence, if I have to pick out two themes, one will be attracting the customer, what we can do, which will have a reach out part as well. And second is educating the customer, which is again going back into the retention loop where the customers comes again and again.
Ankur, I just want to add one more thing to this. The stickiness for the consumer to come back to you. Unfortunately, offline doesn't have too many methods to do that. Unless you've got online, you keep on getting the same. Moment you go to a site, they keep on saying this for the next 10 days. And if you go to make my trip, and you want to go for a holiday, you may have come back from holiday still getting a sending the same message, you have flight, you have a hotel there. Same thing Amazon or Flipkart, they keep, once you go to one side, you want to buy something, they keep on reminding. Unfortunately, we don't have that facility to do that in offline.
Agreed. But as we say, right, still we are all still human society, still some decades away where we all become robots. So I think that human angle of going out and enjoying things, having that physical touch, I think probably it will still remain. Okay, with that, let's try to understand what kind of technologies we are adopting, and maybe Nilesh, I'll pull you in. Give us some examples of technologies which you have seen Indian malls adopting, and technologies which you feel it is still not here, but it is definitely going to come within Indian mall ambit.
Thank you. Nice to be here. We have been discussing about this since morning, and quite a few of these technologies have been discussed in this very room. Something which not necessarily will happen inside a mall, but will happen inside the stores inside the mall. Augmented reality, virtual reality, this is something that will pick up pace very soon. Very soon we'll have customers trying out products, merchandises virtually. They'll be visiting virtual stores inside the mall. And this is something that we are working upon at Nexus Malls. Contactless payment, we have been hearing this for a while. We have experienced this in some form today. This may not be the end. Tomorrow you may be just smiling at a camera and the payment happens on its own, right? So, I mean, these are the stages that we'll see of contactless payment very soon. IoTs, we have been discussing about IoTs for a while. You'll find much better adoption of IoTs going ahead. Internet of Things. This is something which will impact the malls directly in making it more smarter building, probably having more energy efficient systems in place, and maybe a safe and secure place for customers and retailers. So I definitely see these three technology being adopted in greater acceptance.
Got it. So Rajneesh, your thoughts?
I think technology, the basic function is to bring efficiency. No matter in whichever field you see, is trying to bring efficiency, making the systems more efficient. That's the core purpose of using technology. Now, you can keep picking new areas where you want to be more efficient. It can start with data collation within the organization, how your own data is efficiently structured and gives you meaningful reports. A lot of technology can go that. How are you communicating with retailers? How their day-to-day issues are digitalized and communication is easy for them. So there are tools available which we have adopted where the tenants don't have to come to our office or come to us to our information desk. They can just log in and work out their communication with us on that. Communication with retail, with the consumers, social media or any other channel that is available to efficiently, effectively communicate with consumers. So you can keep picking areas like Nilesh talked about efficient equipment management or energy efficiency by applying technology there. Now clearly if you generate structured data, you can study the data better, you can find your solutions better. So any area where we see a room for efficiency, technology can play a role. And I see some bit of work happening in all of that, in every field. And somewhere we have moved little ahead, like touchless payments. And today,
Absolutely.
parking, most of the malls have a FASTag integration. Now a small initiative by government only for toll, but the technology has been applied far more wider usage. And we see 70 to 75% cars today do not have to do a cash transaction. Saves us manpower and efforts in auditing. Leakages are down. Time consumed by consumer at the gate has gone down. And the whole transaction is so smoothless, smooth because it goes straight into my bank. So I don't have to look at cash management and things like that. Knowing that all cars here onward will come on such technologies, and moving forward, they will not even have a FASTag, they will just be linked. So we will keep upgrading. So this 75% will become 100%. So every area of business will have opportunities for efficiency. We will get products which will bring that in. This is my view.
I think very well said, and I think between both of you, you covered the gamut. There is a set of technologies coming towards the front end, and Rajneesh, you touched upon there is a set of technologies helping with efficiency also towards the back end, right? Because at the end of the day, one will like to have technology to create a wow to its customers, but at the same time, they will like to use that for their own efficiency, because unless that efficiency comes in, you won't have that capital or the savings that can be plowed in to get those kind of results. This journey, most of the mall operators, as you correctly told Rajneesh, a lot of it has been happening for quite some time. Let's hear that during that journey, what has some of the learnings that has happened, some of the challenges that happened. Mahesh, I'll start from you on this.
So I think every failure is a learning. So I can recall that we had a large 10-acre campus with about 7 odd buildings, and each building houses multiple brands and multiple floors. So we thought that we're going to change the world, and had beacons installed across the entire campus, push notifications given to the customer, app-driven, allow the customer to download the app, and then engage with the customer and so on. And we miserably failed. So miserably failed because I think for the customer, one more app wasn't on, was taking screen space. And then the entire effort of trying to be in touch with the customer through the app failed. And similarly, when we try to have a typical aim and shoot, so you could actually look at a particular building, aim and shoot, and then you'll get pop-up notifications of what kind of offers are there and which brand is offering, enticing the customer to go, didn't work. So, I mean, we really iterated a lot, and that's where when we came up with the entire curated trail that I talked about, and we said that each customer, I mean, in our category, it's a segment of one. It's not a walk-in that comes in, it's a heartbeat that comes in. So therefore, we said that let's have on creativityonline.com, let's have a customer can book a curated trail. When the customer comes, the family comes, there's somebody to receive them, actually encourage and assist them in their entire journey. So from typical app-based applications, we moved into assisted commerce, if I may put it that way. And that's given us close to about a 30% increase in productivity. So it is a combination of physical and digital. But yeah, the learning is that, let's not treat every customer as the same and they're going to follow the same kind of habits that probably they use for other categories. Our category is different and we need to tailor our approach accordingly. So that would be my take.
Mr. Mukesh, your experience?
There's one thing I've been trying for past, I don't know how many years, somehow it's not worked. I am from the hotel background, so I know more about the loyalty point in the hotel. So when you check out from the hotel like Marriott, Hyatt Regency, when you check out, you get a reward points on the spot. So you have a tendency to go back to the same hotel, but you already have so many loyalty points. I've tried to work this in the mall, somehow it doesn't work. And I have worked with many companies, they promise it'll happen, give me 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, but somehow I've totally failed on this. Because I think that can make a big difference. Today, if you go to a mall, and you know that you're going to get a loyalty point right on the point of sale, they like to go back where you're getting those points. I'm still surprised why, it's not only in India, it's worldwide, people have tried, it's not working. We have checked with many malls across the globe. Somehow it's not worked. I don't know why it is so difficult. Somehow this is a complete failure for us. Number two, I talked about this omni-channel with the retail stores. I said that was an idea a few years back. Of course, not relevant anymore.
Yeah. Nilesh, I'll come to you. If you can also share the experience, and I'd like to hear about the change management or the capability building part, right? Because with every technology, because it's an iterate and process, sometimes keeping that morale up and making sure that the people get trained. So why don't you share your experience on that as well?
True. So we have faced our challenges. While it's very easy to implement in tier 1, tier 2 cities, when we take the tech to smaller towns, smaller cities where we are present, the lack of infrastructure. I mean, we have malls which faces frequent power fluctuations, frequent power cuts. The internet is not very stable. So irrespective of what tech we put there, it will not work without these infrastructure. And getting the right person to manage it, to run it for us also has been a challenge. And sending somebody from tier 1 cities to these places every now and then when there's a breakdown, we have faced these challenges. If not directly, then indirectly through our vendors. They face the same similar issues. Yeah.
Rajneesh, your thoughts?
I think, tech and human both can change, right? You can customize the technology and you can change the behavior of people. Both are possible. Tech is dependent upon vendor. The more you customize, the more complex solution you have, and 1 or 2 people living in vendor side will become, this tech created by them will become alien to them, because they are so used to sell you the package that they have been used to selling you. So from a tech perspective, the less customization you ask for, the more off-the-shelf product that you buy will be far more effective for you. May not be efficient, but it will be effective for you. But if you buy a non-customized product, then the changes have to happen human side, right? Which also is a Herculean task, because you are used to do business in a certain manner. So how you marry these two things is the biggest challenge. So I remember when we did an implementation of business objective in our company, we changed a lot of reporting structures. We created new formats. The formats became compatible with the data reading of the machine and not the other way around. And hence, where our monthly reviews for a mall performance used to start from 12th onward, now we finish by 12th.
Excellent.
The very 4th, 5th day, that report is ready to review, because this is all been fed in a certain manner. So we changed all the data capturing reports to start with. We didn't change much on the tech side. We changed our internal processes through and through. Created new formats, created new solutions to feed data in non-customized tech solution, and it worked. We failed big time. We tried omni-channel in 2016 or 16, I think. I think we failed because we needed to speak to an external world, and external world was not so granularly oriented on tech platform to have a store level inventory. I think in 7 years time the world has moved and most of the retailers have that, and we are trying to do it again. We didn't try loyalty, which Mukesh said the field badly. We are trying it now, and we are very confident we will be successful. And we didn't go to any, in this case, we didn't go to any of the vendor giving off-the-shelf product. We went to a guy, we said, this is how we want it. And we made an NDA sign that till such time, either you deny us or we deny you. You're not discussing this parameter with anybody else, because it's our knowledge, our understanding of business that putting on table for you to create a product, right? We made it frictionless, and it's so far giving us some results in the direction we want. But I think we will have to wait for at least 16, 17 months to accumulate data which starts becoming meaningful to us. We did something on demographics using AI and a video feed analytic. For first 12 months, we had no clue what's happening. 13th month onward, we realized when the world is growing, we are degrowing in terms of footfall. We at least took 6 months to cross-check, is the data right or wrong? We did manual checks on the computers, we everything we did. And we realized that when you change technology, the accuracy has come in, which is at least 15% lesser than what we used to believe is our footfall, right? And today, we are comfortable with that. We have lesser people, but we blame it to technology, saying, okay, we changed it.
It's a very, very good story that you have shared, that it's sometimes we adopt a new technology, we quickly look at the business parameters. There is an eagerness to get the result and either prove or disprove the hypothesis in our minds. And sometimes if the result does not come, there is a tendency to automatically say, hey, is the technology right or not, before checking whether the process of using that technology is right or not. Mukesh, you have to.
Yeah, I just want to say, the mall has so much of data. We have, on an average, I would say a mall does around 5 million footfall on average, larger maybe 10 million, some will. I mean, that's the data what we have. And if you include data of all the stores, which is verified data, but somehow you're not able to use the data at all. I mean, it's like a gold mine. If you look at any of the e-commerce site, the data is so strong, they can send a lot of push notification. Unfortunately, you're not able to use the data at all because we don't know the data belongs to the mall or belongs to the retailer. This fight is still on. Unless we win that fight, we'll not be able to use the data at all.
Mukesh, this data is so complex that if you can dig it, you will not get gold, you will get bitcoins.
and probably for digging,
at least we have some data which is verified.
Yeah.
Authentic data, those are.
And I think the data is so huge that you will need specialist equipments to dig it actually.
It's not only huge. So what Mukesh is referring to is the data sitting with retailers.
Yeah.
It's not only huge, it's complex.
Yeah.
Because 140, 160 retailers in a smaller mall or 300 odd retailers in a larger mall are sitting on different technologies, gone through a different curve of evolution over the years. And the data structure itself is so different that, and my feeling is right about it. If you can crack and dig that data, you are looking at Bitcoin, not gold.
Agreed. So I think we have talked about iteration, we have talked about having the right infrastructure, we have talked about aligning the processes and having that patience to wait for technology to give the results. Thank you.